Hi, I'm attorney Jack Inman, and today I wanted to talk about month-to-month tenancies. So in the state of Tennessee, there are two main types of tenancies that we typically encounter. First is called a periodic tenancy. Now, that's what you may be most used to. That's where you sign a lease for a specified duration of time, and you stay there until the end of your lease, at which point you either renew or you may vacate the property. Now, this type of lease is typically in writing. It's not required to be in writing, so long as it's less than 1 year in duration, but most oftentimes it is in writing. And it's important to get it in writing if you can. That way you have a physical contract that dictates the terms, and dictates the responsibilities and rights of both the landlord and the tenant. So that's the most common type of tenancy that you'll encounter. However, another type of tenancy that crops up with surprising regularity is what's called a tenancy at will. This is also known as a month-to-month tenancy. Now, in the state of Tennessee, when you have, say, a year-long lease, if you stay after the expiration of that lease, it automatically converts to a month-to-month tenancy. So what does that mean? Well, it means that your lease effectively renews on a monthly basis. What that also means is that either party, either the landlord or the tenant, can terminate that lease at any point so long as they give 30 days notice. So if you're in a property and you have a year-long lease that has expired and you're still in the property and you're still paying rent, you automatically become a month-to-month tenant. So the terms of your original lease still control, however, the duration has been shortened to 1 month. What that means is that either party can change any portion of that lease so long as they give 30 days notice. So your landlord can tell you, starting next month, your rent is going to go up by $200. And you have the option either to move out or to stay, but if you stay, you will have to pay that increase in rent. Now that's all conditioned on the landlord giving you the proper 30 days advance notice. Right? If they tell you just a few days before rent is due that, oh, by the way, it's going up $200, it's not going to cut it. They have to give you a full 30 days. And in some counties, some judges require a full calendar month. So the drawbacks to a month-to-month tenancy are that the landlord can terminate it at any point. So you may have been in this property for a decade or more. You may feel that it's your permanent home and you may want to live there the rest of your days. However, if you don't have a valid lease in place, you're considered a month-to-month tenant, and your landlord can get you out of the property at any point so long as they give you the 30 days notice to vacate. So what if you receive one of these 30-day notice to vacates? Well, you can stay there for the duration of the 30 days and then move out when that 30 days is up, and nothing bad will happen to you. Right? Your landlord is not allowed to file an eviction within that 30 days. You have the right to stay there. Now, you do have to pay rent for that last 30 days. Don't think you're off the hook just because you received one of these notices. If you're in the property, you still owe rent. But if you stay beyond the 30 days, then at that point your landlord has the right to go file an eviction in the court system. And the judge is probably going to side with the landlord. If he gave you the proper 30-day notice and you stayed beyond that 30 days, you had no right to be there. And so your landlord, 9 times out of 10, unless the judge feels sorry for you and for whatever reason you end up winning, 9 times out of 10 the landlord is going to be successful in their eviction action. So if you receive a 30-day notice to vacate, you should vacate. There's no reason to stay beyond that. If you do, you risk getting an eviction on your record. And I understand it can be very difficult to find subsequent housing, especially if you've been in this property for a long time and you've accumulated a lot of stuff, or if you have pets. It can be hard to find subsequent housing. I get that. But you don't have any right to stay in the property once that 30 days notice has run. So keep that in mind. So what are the benefits of having a month-to-month tenancy? Well, flexibility. That's really all there is on the benefit side. Both parties have the right to cancel at any point with a 30-day notice, so it cuts both ways. You as the tenant are also not locked into any kind of long-term contract. If you decide you want to vacate next month, give your landlord a 30-day notice, pay that last month's rent if you live there, and then vacate, and you're off the hook. The landlord can't do anything against you in court. Right? So long as you gave proper notice and you paid up for the date that you moved, and that really should be the full calendar month, then you can leave after that and there'll be no recourse against you, assuming you leave the property in good condition. So that is the breakdown between a periodic tenancy, which is your typical year-long lease or 6-month lease, or it can be 2-year lease, It can be however long you want it. That's your periodic tenancy. Now in contrast, we just went over what's called the month-to-month tenancy, which is month to month, it renews every month. Either party can cancel it or change the terms at any point. So I hope that's helpful for you, and keep that in mind next time your lease expires. It doesn't automatically renew for a year unless your lease says otherwise. Technically, it will automatically renew on a month-to-month basis. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about a lease, or you need help evicting somebody, or you're a tenant and you think you've been wrongfully evicted, reach out to us at Christian Cities Legal Services. Until next time.